Think about how often bridges are used in South Africa. Driving on the highway, passing over a river, crossing a railway line, going over another road. Most of the time, nobody even notices. Cars are moving at speed, trucks are fully loaded, buses are packed with people, and everything feels normal. But if you stop and think about it for a second, it's actually wild. A massive structure is hanging over empty space. Hundreds of tons of moving vehicles are passing over it every minute. Wind is blowing. The ground below is not always solid. Sometimes there's water flowing underneath, yet the bridge doesn't move. It doesn't shake. It doesn't sag. People trust it without thinking twice. No slowing down, no fear, no questions. And that trust exists because bridges are doing a very specific job quietly every single day. But when something goes wrong with the bridge, suddenly everyone pays attention. Traffic stops, routes are closed, communities are cut off. So this video is about understanding bridges in a simple way, what a bridge actually is, what it's meant to do, why bridges look the way they do, and why some bridges last for decades while others fail. Not with complicated language, not with calculations, just by breaking down what's really going on. At its most basic level, a bridge does one simple thing. It carries weight across empty space. That's it. A bridge doesn't float, it doesn't hover, and it doesn't magically hold itself up. Every single car, truck, and bus that drives over a bridge has weight. That weight has to go somewhere. The bridge's job is to take that weight and move it safely to the ground without the road in between collapsing. So when a car drives onto a bridge, the bridge doesn't store that weight, it redirects it. The weight travels through the deck you drive on, into the structure of the bridge, and then down into the ground at the ends. That's why bridges always have something solid at each side. Pillars, supports, abutments. Those are the points where the bridge gives the weight back to the earth. And this is important to understand. A bridge is not the strongest in the middle because it is thick. It is strongest because it knows exactly where the weight must go. The bridge does not fight gravity. It works with it. If a bridge ever loses its ability to send weight safely into the ground, it doesn't matter how strong the road on top looks. That's when problems begin. Not all bridges look the same. Some are long and wide. Some are short and narrow. Some cross rivers. Others cross roads or railway lines. That's because bridges are built for different jobs. For example, take a simple strip resting across a gap. When the gap is small, the strip stays fairly flat. Nothing dramatic happens. As the gap becomes wider, the same strip starts to bend more, even though the strip itself hasn't changed. The job has changed. Now, keep the gap the same and add weight to the strip. With very little weight, the strip copes easily. As more weight is added, the bending becomes obvious. Again, nothing about the strip changed, only the load. This is the basic logic behind every bridge. If the distance to cross is short, a bridge can be simple. If the distance is long, the bridge needs help in the middle, supports, columns, or piers. If the loads are light, the structure can be slimmer. If the loads are heavy, the structure must be stronger and better supported. This is why bridges come in so many shapes. A small neighborhood bridge, a rural bridge, and a highway bridge all follow the same rules. Only the scale changes. Bridges don't look the way they do because of style. They look the way they do because the forces demand it. So far, the focus has been on the part of the bridge that people see and drive on. But a bridge does not end at the edge of the road. Every bridge must touch the ground somewhere. And those contact points matter more than most people realize. When a vehicle moves across a bridge, the weight doesn't stay in the deck. It travels through the structure and needs somewhere solid to go. That's where the ground comes in. Picture the same strip from before, resting across a gap. As long as the ends of that strip are supported firmly, the strip stays where it is. But if one end sits on a soft ground, the whole strip starts to tilt and bend. The strip hasn't changed, the load hasn't changed, only the support has. That is exactly how bridges work. At each end of a bridge, and sometimes in the middle, there are parts designed to connect the structure to the earth. These are the places where the bridge hands its weight back to the ground. If that ground is strong and stable, the bridge behaves calmly. If the ground moves, settles, or washes away, the bridge responds. This is why bridges near rivers, valleys, and floodplains need special care. Water can soften soil. Floods can remove material. What looked solid during construction can change over time. A bridge does not fail because concrete suddenly becomes weak. It fails when the ground it relies on changes. And that's why what happens below the bridge is just as important as what happens above it. Most bridges don't cross empty space. They cross water, rivers, streams, drainage lines, places where water naturally wants to move. And water is patient. It doesn't need to break a bridge in one day. It works slowly over years. When water flows around the base of a bridge, it doesn't just pass. It carries sand, it carries soil, it carries small stones. Little by little, that material gets taken away. That's why bridge supports are shaped so that water can slide past them instead of crashing straight into them. And that's why heavy stones or concrete are placed around the base to stop water from washing the ground away. From above, everything can still look fine. The road can look normal. Traffic keeps moving. But underneath, the ground that was meant to carry the weight can quietly disappear. In South Africa, heavy storms, sudden floods, and long dry periods followed by intense rain make this happen faster. Bridges don't fail because they cross rivers. They fail when water is allowed to slowly undermine what's holding them up. A common assumption is that a good bridge never moves. That's not true. A good bridge is designed to move, just a little and in controlled ways. Every day, bridges expand when it gets hot. They contract or shrink when it gets cold. They respond to traffic moving across them. They respond to wind. Think about wearing very tight shoes. At first, they feel fine, but as feet warm up and swell slightly, pressure builds. If the shoes don't allow any movement, something gives. The shoe cracks, the stitching tears, or the foot gets hurt. The problem isn't the foot, it's the lack of space to move. The same thing happens with bridges. If a bridge were completely rigid, all those small daily changes would build up pressure, and that pressure would show up as cracks instead. So instead of fighting movement, bridges allow it. This is why when driving on a highway, a small bump is sometimes felt on a bridge. That metal plate or joint in the road is there on purpose. It allows the bridge to expand and contract without damage. These are not signs of poor workmanship. They are safety features. In South Africa, this is especially important. Hot days, cool nights, large temperature swings. So when that small movement is felt under the tires, that's the bridge doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is not movement. The problem is uncontrolled movement, and that difference matters. Problems start when changes don't stop. A joint that keeps opening more and more. Cracks that grow longer or wider over time. Parts of the bridge that suddenly look lower than before. Water pooling where it never pooled before. Those are signs that movement is no longer controlled, and this is very important. Most bridge failures don't happen without warning. They're usually preceded by small changes that get ignored. Tiny signs that something underneath is no longer behaving the way it should. This is why inspections matter. Not to find problems after failure, but to catch them while they are still small and manageable. A bridge doesn't go from fine to unsafe overnight. It gives signals over time. The challenge is knowing which ones to listen to. Bridges are not meant to be mysterious. They are not magic, and they are not indestructible. They are carefully designed systems that do one quiet job every day. Carry people safely across empty space. Most of the time, bridges work so well that nobody notices them. Traffic flows, life continues, and that's a very good thing. Understanding how bridges work doesn't make them scary. It makes them easier to trust. Movement doesn't necessarily mean failure. Small sounds don't necessarily mean danger. Visible joints don't mean poor workmanship. They mean the bridge is responding the way it was designed to. Problems don't come from bridges doing their job. They come when water, ground, or movement is no longer controlled. That's why maintenance, inspection, and care matter, especially in South Africa, where weather, floods, and heavy traffic test our infrastructure every day. Bridges connect more than just roads. They connect communities. They connect jobs to people. They connect food, water, and emergency services to where they're needed. And when bridges are understood, they stop being intimidating. They become something worth respecting. Hi everyone, the South African engineer here. If this explanation was useful, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Every subscription is a brick used to build the Engineering Explained house. Let's build this house together. Thank you for watching.